Hey guys, it's Strutter and today is July the 2nd, 2013. This video is going to be about the divergence between silver's price and demand, and it updates all the data that's been gathered so far for the first half of the year through the end of June. And this, of course, you're looking at just the demand in green. This is investment silver demand, and in the first half of this year it has been over 16% stronger than the previous record year, which was 2011 down here. So that's fully 16%, actually more than 16% higher than the previous record year. And of course the demand surge is even more striking when you consider the price has fallen by almost 2/3. And this is the old measure I've been using for price, which calculates the high each year in price and then adjusts it so that it fits on the same scale as the demand figures. But looking at the actual price chart, this is becoming my favorite way of analyzing this divergence actually. You can see just how far this has fallen, this price. 2/3 from where it was at the top here. And has demand come down by 2/3? No, demand has increased by 16%. If any of this is confusing or you're not sure what I'm talking about, I have explained how this graph and these data are analyzed in the past. In previous videos, I'll put an example in the description box down below from 1 month ago when I did it up through the end of May, but there's other videos in the past. I've done this for a few months, and you can go back and look at other videos too. I'm not going to go into it all here, but I do have a few more comments I want to make on this, and that is just that this gap divergence, it's being called, is getting ridiculous. You know, it's dominating this chart. Maybe here is the only other example where we were anywhere higher, but it looks like the data point is right about there and there. So you know, we're talking about a divergence of about that much. It still is significant when compared to the total, which includes this here, of course, as opposed to this and then the remaining part. This remaining part here is actually about the same, whereas this is only a small portion of this, maybe looks like about 60% of this, whereas the current divergence is obviously a lot greater. I didn't explain that very well, but I think you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it has happened before where we've seen a divergence, but it has not been proportionally as big as this divergence, I guess is a much better way of saying it. And I guess I can draw a couple of basic and conservative assumptions based on these data. And people will keep asking, what is this good for? How do I analyze this? I don't know. I don't really know where it goes from here. I'm hoping that more people will be aware of it, and then more people can use it, analyze it, study it, do their own analysis of the data, and run with it from there. I'm certainly going to keep on working with it, and I'll post any of my findings, but really I have two very basic assumptions that I can make from this, and that is that something about investment silver's demand versus its price is very different in 2013 than from any other time. We are in unprecedented times. I think that much is fairly commonly understood. But why? You know, why is this happening? We don't really know. We can just say, yeah, it's novel, it's new, it's just developing, and it's possibly getting even wider. So it's certainly something to keep watching, but it's really hard to make a lot of solid conclusions about it. And my other one, I guess, would be that whatever's behind this change is unlikely or, you know, impossible for it to be something that can last very long. It's somewhere between unlikely and impossible, I think, for this to continue on in the realm of years, maybe in the realm of months, and that's why we're watching it with interest. But something has to change here. The market that we are dealing with is physical silver bullion, and that is a limited thing. It can't be jerked around as easily as a paper product can, for example. So in summary, yeah, something is different, and it's not something that can last forever. How it's going to play out certainly is yet to be decided, yet to be seen, and we're just going to keep on watching this thing. Looks like we've had our own little false flag event here in the Vancouver area yesterday.
On July 1st, the RCMP arrested and charged John Stuart Nuttall and Amanda Cordy for terrorism-related activities, including taking steps to build and subsequently place explosive devices at a predetermined location in the city of Victoria in British Columbia for the purpose of causing death or serious bodily injuries.
Sorry. Yeah, pressure cookers. Well, got a pressure cooker right over here. There you have it. That's my pressure cooker. I've had it for about 8 years. Does a really good job of canning. It's just unbelievable, this attention on pressure cookers now. It's being compared to the Boston bombing. Disturbing.
On Canada Day. This self-radicalized behavior was intended to create
They're talking about it being self-radicalized. They're saying be very afraid. Your next door neighbor could be a radical. They don't look like anyone else. They look just like regular people. This happened in my town. It's hitting close to home for me. But at the same time, I realize this is probably not even real. There's no details given. Who knows who these two people are? They're hidden away. They're gone. Apparently the police were watching them all the time, and there was, quote, never any harm potential to the public at all. So if that's true, and they're telling the truth, which is a stretch because they're police, but if they're telling the truth, then there was never any chance of harm to the public, so what are we hearing about it for? You know, just so we can be worried about if we see a neighbor that has a pressure cooker, or we see people that we think might be radicalized? For crying out loud. So now they want us to report on suspicious activities. The Premier of BC, Christy Clark, wants us to be on the lookout for things that might be terrorists. And, you know, what we consider to be potential terrorist activity is, you know, paying in cash, that kind of thing. Being a supporter of liberty. Talking about the Constitution, talking about freedom, talking about individual rights, all that kind of stuff. That's really dangerous stuff. Being concerned about your privacy. Those kind of people are becoming dangerous people around here. And that's me. So it's hitting close to home in terms of location and in terms of just who they're targeting and who they're saying is going to be dangerous now. It's getting nasty. Remember Enemy of the State with Will Smith? It came out just over 15 years ago now.
Go to the house. Go. Do not call. Rachel Banks is dead. The papers will make it sound like I killed her. Tell her that I didn't do it. Make sure she goes. Get her out of there. Tell him I love him.
The call is coming from... We're going to have to look at your surveillance tapes for the last 20 minutes.
Hey, Larry!
The surveillance footage is coming in right now from Pratt. Freeze it and process it for face recognition.
And a quick getaway?
Yeah, ever since I met you.
This is where I work. It seems strange to you, but this has been my office for 15 years. It's completely secure. Copper wire mesh keeps the radio signals out.
This is the satellite imagery of the convenience store 20 minutes ago. They're in El Camino. There it is. Let's go in there and get them.
I call it the jar. No phone or utility lines coming in. Self-contained, unplugged from the world. Nothing for a wire bug to piggyback in on. That leaves only transmitters. It's easy enough to signal sweep for those.
Signal sweeping for transmitters. You're just a party animal.
The government's been in bed with the entire telecommunications industry since the 40s. They've infected everything. They get into your bank statements, computer files, email, listen to your phone calls, every wire, every airwave. The more technology you use, the easier it is for them to keep tabs on you. It's a brave new world out there.
Oh, conspiracy theorists of the world unite.
It's more than a theory with me. I'm a former conspirer. Yeah, I used to work for the NSA. I was a communication analyst. Listened to international calls from foreign nationals. A GPS tracking device we found in your cellular telephone. I designed one of the first models in that series. Fort Meade has 18 acres of mainframe computers underground. You're talking to your wife on the phone, you use the word bomb, president, Allah, any of 100 keywords. Computer records recognizes it, automatically records it, red flags it for analysis. That was 20 years ago. You know the Hubble telescope looks up at the stars? They've got over 100 spy satellites looking down at us. That's classified. In the old days, we actually had to tap a wire into your phone line. Now calls bouncing off satellites, they snatch them right out of the air. Reynolds Thomas Bryan, born 9/11/40. Attended Episcopal School, D.C., BA, Harvard, Ph.D., Princeton. You're talking to your wife on the phone, you use the word bomb, president, Allah, any of 100 key words.
Like pressure cooker? Anyhow, a few reasons why I think this is a really good movie to see again, especially if you saw it when it first came out 15 years ago. One of them is just a really good movie, obviously, in my opinion. And another reason to watch it again is you can see how far things have changed. I remember when I first watched this movie, I was thinking, holy crap, this is insane. When I watched it again just a couple of weeks ago, I kept waiting to be surprised about all the technology and stuff they were talking about, and then the end of the movie came along and I still hadn't, experienced that surprise, and I thought, oh, that's because things are different now. Everything that happened in the movie that seemed so far-fetched is not just reality now, but it's common knowledge and accepted, and we're, far, far beyond that in reality. So it's just really weird to watch it from that perspective. And another perspective to watch it from is there's some interesting dates and names and stuff like that mentioned in the movie, if you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, just something interesting to watch. Talk a lot about the NSA in the movie and the capabilities of spying and so forth. And yeah, it's pretty eerie. Lastly, I just wanted to mention it looks like Russia is opening up their own version of the comics, which will be interesting to say the least. So I'll put the link for that down below. Other than that, I will talk to you guys soon.